good afternoon. I thought I would jump on and give a few words about how to discern between leaders, if you will, those good teachers when it came to prepping. How is it? What's a good way that you can discern between the good and the bad, the wheat and the tares, if you will? I'm going to start out because there's a lot of people that's probably going to click off of this momentarily. So I want to put this out before that happens. I wrote a little something down here, and I think it's something that folks, especially preppers, really need to take to heart. You cannot buy your way out of SHTF, okay? You can only build your way out of SHTF, okay? You can fill that gap. You can most certainly take care of that hump. But at some point in time, you're going to have to be a builder. You're going to have to be a producer. You're not going to be able to just keep clicking add to cart after SHTF happens. So that's an important thing to note, and that is something that, there are a few channels that talk about. We talked about it last night with the Unapologetic Prepper, and there are a few channels that do talk about it, but let's dive a little bit deeper, and I do have to refer to the word here. I mean, what else better can we refer to when we're talking about discernment and the separation of the wheat and the tares? So the first thing that I want to show you here is 1 Timothy 3 verses 1 through 3, and it says right here, "Here is a trustworthy saying. Whoever aspires to be an overseer desires a noble task. Now the overseer is to be above reproach, faithful to his wife, temperate, self-controlled, respectable, hospitable, able to teach, not given to drunkenness, not violent but gentle, not quarrelsome, and not a lover of money." Now, when you go over all those and you start checking off the list on some of these channels, especially some of the larger channels, it's like, wait a minute. This one constantly drinks or, promotes drinking on his channel, right? This one's constantly promoting or, more or less promoting themselves, right? I call it chest beating, trying to show everybody all their fancy stuff that they have. You see that a lot, especially when it comes to the prepper channels. Probably not the ones that you want to watch because they're not in it to teach you. At the very least, they're in it for profit. And so you want to be very careful of that. Now, of course, some could say that I've got issues with, being above reproach. Some could say that I've got issues about being hospitable. But what I would like to remind you is when I call these channels out, I do it as a warning. I do it in righteousness, okay? And we could go dig into that biblically and talk for days on that. But I don't do it just out of malice. I don't do it to try to make myself bigger. I don't do it for the wrong reasons. I do it for the right reasons. We're supposed to blow our trumpet. Absolutely. We're supposed to blow our trumpet when there's actually something to blow it on, right? Any channel that does not encourage you to learn, any channel that, for instance, would make fun of other channels or put down other channels that are actually trying to teach you valuable information, they're not a very good overseer, now are they? So one more quick scripture here, and it's Psalms 101 verse 5, and it's, "Whoever secretly slanders his neighbor, him I will destroy. The one who has a haughty look and a proud heart, him I will not endure." So, as you see the chest-beating preppers out there talking about how Billy badass they are, talking about all the stuff that they have, keep this in mind. It's a good way to separate that wheat from those tares. And if anybody would like to read through, there's actually a list I have here of 100 Bible verses. I'll put it in the description of this video, which all relates to bad leadership. You might actually be surprised once you start looking into this. Who are the bad leaders? You know, the Bible talks about how those that should be loved will be hated, and those that should be hated will be loved. And I know I'm not speaking it verbatim, but I'm sure you are aware of the verses I speak of. Folks, it's real. It's real. Anyway, I hope you learned something from this. I hope you are able to better discern between the wheat and the tares when it comes to the overseers of prepping, if you will. And hope to see you at the live show tonight. Shalom.